Another Lee Hammond's tune that I remembered. Um, he didn't remember the name of it, so a few years ago uh, I recorded it, and because he couldn't remember the name of it, he was born on Spring Creek, just at the northern part of Greenbrier County, just south of here, and born on Spring Creek, and so uh, he and I were really really good friends, and uh, so I called it Trouble on Spring Creek because the day if he were still alive, and I called it Trouble on Spring Creek, he'd have known that I was saying that the day he was born there was trouble on Spring Creek. So, by the way, he played these two tunes, and they both have the same high part. But when you quit playing the music for close 50 years, uh, if you don't have another high part, you just stick in the one that you had on the tune before, maybe. I got to thinking about it here recently, and that was a lot of these old tunes didn't have much in the way of notes. It seemed more important to get the silences correct. Lee Hammond's silences in his tunes is what makes them really hard to play. In my experience and looking back on it, when the new music came in, money was started getting behind it, and so they started playing it faster and putting a lot of notes in because the people who were listening to the music weren't the old mountain people anymore, and so they didn't really understand the music. All they understand is wanting lots of notes. Lee Hammond's was talking about Eden. Eden was born 1876 and Lee born in 1883. So there's only 7 years of difference in their ages. And Eden was stopping by uh, Lee's father's house Stephen was his name. Stephen had come out of Kentucky just like the other Hammondses had, Whitley County. And so Lee remembered Eden's fiddling before the turn of the century and after some, but Eden was a fiddler and didn't work any kind of a job. It was real important for those old men. The old Hammonds is on Sherman and Burl Maggie's them side. It was real important for that group of Hammonds to be able to say that they'd never worked a job in their life. But that means one thing. Whenever the Industrial Revolution came into these mountains, then people went to work for someone else. But for the old Hammonds, it was really important for them that they'd never worked a job, meaning nobody was ever their boss. Nobody ever told them when to show up. Nobody told them when they could leave. Nobody ever told them how to live their life. And I just figured, life's a trade-off, and you're under somebody else bossing you whenever there's money involved, or something like money. And with the old Hammonds, they came out of the frontier, and I had a full-blooded Indian come into my class one time. He was from Canada. I don't know what the tribe was, but he walked in the door of where I taught music, and I had a bunch of Hammonds pictures, Maggie, Burl, Sherman, Rui, and as soon as he saw them from 12, 14 feet away, he just saw them and he just was startled. He said, "They're Indians." And I did that, when I did that, put together that 4-hour documentary on the Hammondses, what I later realized is just how much in the frontier that they were mixed in with the American Indians, so-called Native Americans. They were married into the tribes. In fact, there was some stories about being in the Indian Nation, and being in the Indian Nation, meaning Maggie said there was her ancestor was one of the families, and there was another family there. She didn't say their names. I don't know what their names were. Could have been another Hammonds, or it could have been a Roberts. At one time, the Roberts and the Hammondses were traveling together. They came into these mountains, these Yupine Mountains, and lived there together. In fact, Ralph Roberts is the last of the old fiddler line that came in from Kentucky. Ralph Roberts is the last of the old fiddlers. Anyway, that tune was Trouble on Spring Creek.